What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So, the Clippers have some trade proposals on the table. They have some offers, and the Clippers definitely, had a disappointing ending to the season in the playoffs, the way they ended, losing to the Denver Nuggets in the first round, which a lot of people expected them to win, including myself. Maybe some didn't, of course, because the Nuggets are a championship team, so we don't want to discredit how good the Nuggets are as a team. But either way, I had the Clippers winning, and they didn't. They fell short. I felt like Kawhi played great, solid, averaged 25 points on like 44% shooting. Played magnificent in that game, too. Played very well in other games. And I felt like James Harden, just basically wet the bed, as usual. When you need them the most. And I just think that the Clippers definitely need to look elsewhere. But the trade proposal that the Clippers have right now, I would say, is probably a very interesting one, because the trade proposal is between them and the Phoenix Suns. And Kevin Durant's name is looming right now. And the fact that the Clippers can possibly get Kevin Durant with the trade proposal of the Suns getting Norman Powell, Derrick Jones Jr., and some picks, that's a pretty decent trade. And you throw Bogdanovich in there, that's a pretty decent trade. You are losing some defense, I will say, and you're losing some offense with Norman Powell, but you're making up for it in Kevin Durant in so many ways offensively. Of course, because Kevin Durant is definitely a better player than Norman Powell offensively in all ways, facets, all ways possible. And you're losing a little bit of defense with Derrick Jones Jr., but it really doesn't matter because how much of him, is his value. When you look at that series against Denver, his value was good, but it wasn't as good as people might have thought it would have been, especially the way when they switched off between him and Chris Dunn on Jamal Murray at times. It just didn't pan out the way that we would have liked it to. And not saying that if they kept DJ, it would be fine. He would only get better being with the Clippers, I think, around Kawhi and all them, if Kawhi stays, of course. But keeping him would be fine, but giving him up for somebody like Kevin Durant wouldn't hurt. Bogey didn't play well in the playoffs really at all. He had 1 or 2 games where he played okay. He played okay defensively too. The first 2 or 3 games of the series, he didn't even score. So when you look at that in its entirety, like, you can't have that when you're trying to win. You just can't have it because it's not going to work out. It's not going to pan out. It's not going to make things better for you. And it's not going to help you win when you don't have guys on the floor being productive who's playing that amount of minutes that Bogey was playing along with Norman Powell. Norman Powell played, he was a starter. In a lot of those games, he was like kind of a non-factor. So, when you look at all that, this is really actually a good trade proposal for them to offer to the Phoenix Suns with some future picks, 2026 picks. I don't see why the Suns wouldn't at least raise an eyebrow to it. I really don't. And, the fact that you still will have players like Chris Dunn and you still have some other players on the team, Nico Batum, who still is going to be there, Kawhi, I guess James Harden, and, you would have Kevin Durant. That would make them very, very formidable to win the championship based upon health. It really would. And that would be a team that can challenge any team in the league, honestly, if they stayed healthy, if they actually had this trade go through. And I think it'd be a spot, Kevin Durant would, fit in very well because he's never played with Kawhi Leonard. He knows how great Kawhi is. He has a lot of respect for him. They have a lot of respect for each other throughout the years of playing against each other. And, Kevin Durant's offense, Kawhi's offense with Kawhi's defense, and James Harden, as long as he doesn't really screw up, they would be unstoppable almost. So, it would definitely be a great, and then on top of that, we wouldn't have to worry about James Harden have to step up in Game 6, Game 7 in the playoffs. He'd have to just be moderate because Kawhi and Kevin Durant are definitely going to step up and play big in big games. No doubt about it. So, that would be all the Clippers would need, of course, I would think. But, this trade I wouldn't say it's very close, but I wouldn't say it's off the table very, very far because, it's very comparable for both teams. And Kevin Durant definitely wants to go. So, with that being said, I mean, that would be a really good, interesting trade for the Clippers because they really do need to see some differences. James Harden is just not going to be the right number 2 guy. He's just not. And then Kevin Durant's on there. It would be like 1A, 1B between him and Kawhi, definitely. So, and it would take more pressure off Kawhi, too, to carry the load like that. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that his health is a little bit more, in detriment than even KD's, you know what I mean? Well, maybe about the same, but maybe KD has been injured a little bit less than Kawhi, I would say, but not much less. But still, it's one of those situations where the Clippers definitely need to put their foot forward and look other directions besides depending on James Harden, because you can't depend on him in big games. You just can't. And Kawhi is just going to wear down. Eventually, Kawhi would have wore down if they made it to the second round, not being able to depend on James Harden like that. Eventually, he would have, no doubt about it. So with that being said, you got to look at it from a standpoint of you got to get Kawhi the help that he needs if he's going to stay on the team. And if you're not getting somebody that he can use, that Kawhi could use to better himself as far as his health and he could rely on, he might not stay anyway. So with that being said, you got to go out there and find somebody for Kawhi who he could rely on, because James Harden just isn't it.